So, we will launch the purple shirt in June, and the plan is to launch with a purple hat as well, a purple CEO hat. We'll need to check the shades, right? It's just like the shades of what those makers are. Two different companies. It's the same company. Our print company is the same company, but of course it's different makers of the actual garment themselves. So, but yeah, we should be launching a purplish or some sort of purple hue hat. And then I think we'll actually we've had requests to do hoodies. We'll probably launch that at convention in November, right? In Phoenix. So, all right. Well, we are here today. Good to have you. Hey, Tammy, good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Bev, Dottie, Richard, Faye, Florence, Vivian, Caralee. I know we're going to have others join, but I'm excited to be with you today. This has been a good lesson. There's a lot of good stuff. So we are, for those who are on the recording, we are reviewing, we're doing a team huddle, 30-minute team huddle on what we've learned, what we're still working on, maybe what our questions are, and our big takeaways from lesson 8 from the I Can Sell and Recruit class. We've got 2 lessons left, by the way, 9 and 10, and that will roll us right into Ascend. This week's lesson is on fear and overcoming objections. Isn't it overcoming objections? Isn't that what they called it? Reframing objectives, maybe objections, I think is maybe what it was called. But she started talking about fear, right? And there are essentially 5, and I'd love to get some feedback from you. 5 core emotions associated with fear, right? So wait, why is this part of rejection? Because a lot of people don't take action because of a fear of rejection, right? I also think this is appropriate at this point because I think a lot of times we want to know how to fix the problems, right? Give us the easy answers, give us the script, give us the magic, like that. What's the magic, saying? What's the magic sentence that I can say to overcome this objection? And if we're not careful, we can move into reframing objections. And I just love, like my hat is off to Deb for the title of this, reframing objections. Typically, like if we're in a sales training, what do they almost always call this subject? They don't say reframing objections. What do they say? Anybody know? Like I've taken sales, or even in the ministry, like when I was a full-time minister, serving a church mission overseas, and this is not a bad thing. This is just what we called it. We called it overcoming objections, as if it is your job to overcome their objection. Right? Is it your job to overcome their objection? No, it's not. Our opportunity is to take them on a journey. So reframing objections, I think, is totally appropriate. And here's why I think that. If we always are looking for I'll call it the shortcut, right? Like if you've got a fear of rejection, but you learn some technique, some tactic, some strategy, but you never really fully address your own fears, and you're just applying these tools to other people, right? Then we may get into the game of manipulation, right? Just trying to get people to, have you ever heard this? In fact, I think it was from this lesson, Deb said, do you ever catch yourself? I caught somebody recently doing this. When I say catch it, I caught this happening in a meeting. And actually it was a ministry. I was in a ministry meeting on a board of education for young adults and youth. And, we were discussing, how do we get them to this event? How do we get them into seminaries, right? How do we get them into church studies? And again, and frankly, the man who said is a dear friend of mine that I've known for 20 plus years, and we've been in the ministry together. Haven't seen him in a long time. Nothing against him. It's habit, but there are powerful words in habit, and as you know, the power of words, and they connect to the feelings and the approaches that we take. Like, do you want to just get people through the funnel? You want them to get over their objections? No, that's not your job, right? We can inspire them to walk through. Anyway, we're not here to get people anywhere. We're here to invite people. We're here to lead people. We're here to gather people. We're here to bring them, right? But you're not here to get them to do anything. It's not your job. So having said that, fear, the fears that you have, how many of you have experienced fear in this business? Like, raise of hand, right? Faye, what kind of question is that? Of course I have, right? Let's talk about the core emotions, okay? Because I think that's critical. Lillian, great to have you here. Let's talk about this fear, right? Fear of talking to strangers, fear of inviting someone that I know, right? Fear of picking up a phone call to somebody I know or I don't know very well. Fear of telling my story. Fear of telling my story. If I hit any that you have or are currently experiencing, make note of that. And we'll talk about that. We're not talking about the core emotions yet. I want to talk about like just that first step, right? You know, you need to do something. Fear of getting your first invite done in a day, or fear of your first reach out. Fear of getting on a technology, right? Mastering a technology, Zoom or online. Fear of reels, fear of doing reels, fear of doing Facebook lives, fear of doing stories, right? Maybe never done it before and you got this fear. Fear of looking stupid, right? Because your perspective is that you look maybe stupid. Fear of training or coaching your team. I had a master pro 10 recently confide in me. They'd enrolled somebody new and they said, I'm scared to call them. I'm scared to call them, okay? To get them started. Fear of personal development. Any of those resonate with you personally? There you go, Flo.
Okay. First of all, fear of something that it's new to me. You mentioned the reels. You mentioned it, and that's a mistake that we all make, right? I'm comparing myself to all of you. I'm not doing what they're doing. So you build this fear that I have to do it the way that they're doing it. So I think that involves a lot, but I do believe that I have to be better at something. But then if I'm not mastering it, I'm not perfect at it, I take too much time. So there, even you, Seth, Lillian, Vivian, Caralee, you, Richard, in these meetings, you've helped me overcome some of that. And where does that come from? Yep. I was criticized all my life since I was little. So these are things that come from childhood that I'm overcoming. But again, fear of doing something new. And in social media, not in Zoom meetings and presentation, but in social media that is so needed, it's the easy way out, not to do it and not do the reels and not further into what I have to accomplish and concentrate in okay, let me take an hour and a half and see how reels are done. I should be in TikTok and concentrate in the vehicles that I have to use in my platform according to the people I'm approaching to the people that I'm looking at in my avatar. Do I make sense? Yes.
Yes. Flo, thank you for sharing that insight. Super, super, super powerful. Anybody else? Go ahead, Richard.
Okay, reminds me of a Charlie Brown Christmas. okay, where Charlie Brown, he's sitting there with Lucy, and she says, well, let's try to identify your fears. And she goes through all these things. He goes, I don't think that's it. And she finally mentions one thing, and he says, what's that? And she says, the fear of everything. And he goes, that's it. The fear of everything. Because a lot of this resonates with me, you know, a lot of it. And so it's hard to just pinpoint one thing. But I think for me, probably the fear of rejection is probably the strongest there.
Awesome. Awesome. That's super, super insightful. Anybody else? Caralee, go ahead.
Okay. I know my fears have changed. They've definitely, some things that I was like worried about telling my story. My story, I know it can always improve, but I'm not afraid of that anymore. But you know what? We're growing. I'll have a really good month. And then it's like, uh-oh, I got my stop sign. It's, uh-oh, can I do that again? See, it's blurry. That makes sense. And that maybe is my biggest thing right now. It's fear. Can I do that again? And that's a fear. Kind of big for me.
Caralee, I've done that, and I've done that recently, just so you know. So
Not fun. I don't want to do it anymore.
yeah. Well, and here's the beautiful thing. You may not have ever been aware of that. And now you are, right? So we go ABC, be aware of it, belief build or belief bust, and make a choice, right? Our choice point. So super, super insightful. The interesting thing, and I don't want to take too long on this side point, but I think it's relevant. Caralee, there's a story that's going along, right? What is the story that's going along with that fear of that emotion? Now, keep in mind, you just climbed a mountain, like last month, whatever it is, like 1 month, you climbed a mountain. Wow, you did amazing things. And then immediately you're telling yourself a story. And what is it? Can you tell us? I mean, what is the story that's going through your mind?
I never think about how I'm talking to myself because I generally am like, in a good mood, but I never tell myself, you can do this. You're great at it. It's easy. I am now, but I just started. And it's another more understanding as we go along. So that even made me feel better what I just told you just now. I can do this. It's not a problem. I can handle it. So, and it's easier all the time. I think that's my problem is because before it was like, uh-oh, and you might be right. Before I got anybody who's like, yes. And now it's like, no, I want more. I want more. But I'm not telling myself the right story. And that's awareness on my part right now.
Beautiful. I think beautifully said. And what if you just change the story? Of course, I think we need to address that there is a core emotion with that fear, right? So I believe it's always worth digging a little deeper, right? Digging a little deeper and saying, what is the story I'm telling myself? Why I had this fear. Oh, what's going on here, right? This is the ABCs, right? Being aware. What am I feeling here? Well, I'm feeling like, what if I can't do this again? Okay, tell me the story. Like, tell the story that you're feeling. Well, I'm just feeling like I'm really, I had a great month, but hey, would you just got out of the swimming pool? Ruthie. What is the story that you're telling yourself? And well, I'm afraid that I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to do as good as I did last month. And then that will show me that I really am.
I will do.
Hannah's telling me I will do. Yes, that's programming right there, right?
That's good programming. And that helps me though, even think deeper, another layer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let that story play out, because here's what happens. You quelled. See, what's happening is that story's wanting to resurge. You basically sidelined it for a month, right? You're able to put yourself into NeuroTools. You're able to start new patterns. Imagine sending a little piece of water down a little tiny crevice, right? And more water, the more water, it starts to become a pattern. But and you do that for a month, you're not necessarily done. You go back to that, to that core belief. That core belief may want to say, I'm going to move the water just a millimeter left. We're going to go back into the Grand Canyon. Those patterns that have been super, super embedded into our psyche and our souls, right? Which say, you're not good enough, Seth. You're not good enough, right? You're not enough. You're going to fall, you're going to end up short. You're going to be the last kid. You're going to be the kid who got cut. You're not going to make it, right? You put that off for a month. You put you forget about it. You start thinking about these beliefs that, hey, I am, right? But those old beliefs do want to resurge. And so they come back. And you quelled it for a month. You became a top producer, right? You did things that you haven't done before. It felt great. It felt amazing. But then that 7-year-old says, wait, no. You're not going to be, it's not going to be that easy. And then you say, what if, right? And then you start going back to that old pattern. And what if, and then the what if wants to prove what you just disproved the last month. It wants to prove that you aren't good enough, right? You just proved that you were, but it's much deeper than that. So you have to go, and you use the neuro tools and go back to, finding what I'm saying is go, just like you said, Caralee, go another little deeper. It's like pulling up a root, right? If you're pulling up a root, and if that root continues to pull up, and it's pulling soil and kind of moving a few feet ahead of you, and what do? Continue to pull it, continue to pull it, continue to pull it, right? Until you find the issue, right? Go ahead, Richard.
Okay, I was just going to say, this training of Deb's is just phenomenal because, talking about how you have the first 7 years of your life that you build all these things up. And she mentions it's going to take a while, another 7 years probably to get rid of a lot of them, doing the neuro tools and everything. I love the send that we had last year, and I'm really looking forward to that. Hence this, right? But I think about and identify so many things that are so core. You go back. You said being cut from the team, right? Or being anything like that. All these things that pop up, and getting to the core of that. And you really do have to dig deep. I think you're right. It's something you really have to deal with and ask yourself, what am I talking to myself with? What's going on in here? So that's mainly what I've been dealing with a lot.
Great insight. Great insight. So the core emotions, when you feel these fears, right? And if you ever start to get into flow or start to move into flow, and then you feel some anxiety, you feel some slowdown, you feel some angst, you feel some distraction. Oh, I need to go do this right now. You know that there is a fear and it is connected to a core belief. You know that. And you just need to pick up the root. Pick up the root. The 5 core emotions that are connected with fear: a fear of loss, a fear of rejection, a fear of the unknown, a fear of pain, or a fear of being insignificant. Let's move on to the last few minutes of our huddle. I'd love some of your thoughts on this. So reframing objections, okay? So when somebody says no, like I struggle for me at the beginning of my career here in our profession of network marketing, I didn't like rejection, right? If I'm to look at why didn't I like rejection, guess what? I can probably go connect it to some of the emotions of this fear, right? Fear of loss, the loss of relationships, right? I'm not too worried about, I think, about the fear of the unknown, but the fear of insignificance, that I don't matter, that I'm not loved, that I'm not enough, that I'm not heard, that I'm not seen, that I'm unwanted. Bingo! Bright lights are flashing right now here for Seth Mulder. I just found it right here. We just pulled up the root, right? Fear of rejection, maybe some embarrassment, some humiliation, right? Being left out, right? So no, what the interesting thing is, can you see how important it is we're talking about fear? Because we got to reframe these objections, because when somebody tells you no and you're full of fear, they say no, but what do you hear? right? That is different for each one of you, depending on the core emotion connected to your fear. You may be hearing, they may say no, and you may be hearing, I'm not enough. I just don't matter, do I? What in the world does you mattering have to do with the fact that they're not going to enroll as a business partner, right? But we've made those connections. Neurons that fire together are wired together, right? And so we got one neuron here firing, and that no is triggering basically something that doesn't need to be related, but in our mind, it is very related, right? So what are your thoughts about this? I love this. I love this. I love this. Reframing the objection. No equals. And like, if we really think, what does no really mean? It simply means at face value that this is not a fit for me right now. Can we all just accept that? Raise your hand if you accept that, and you will accept that. Hey, do you want to go out for pizza tonight? No. What you should hear is, no, this is not a fit for me, right? Pizza is not a fit for me. You should not hear, why would I ever want to go out to dinner with you? You should not hear that, right? But I mean, you get into relationships, you get into marriages, you get into friendships, and somebody says no, and we start create. Stephanie and I call it content communicating. We're going just to take, like, if hey, do you mind if I go here? No, I don't mind. Then that means I don't mind, and you're not going to make me pay for it later, even if you say it in a little snarky way. We don't really do too much snarkiness around here. At least I don't. She's right here. We're gonna communicate the content. So it's important that you do the same thing, right? They say no. It simply means no. This is not a fit for me right now. No, right? Now, why? Okay. And I love this. I'm just sitting here. I don't know what page it is. Oh, page 28. This is not a fit for me right now. Parentheses. The conditions of my life don't allow me to take advantage of this offer. That's what you should hear. That's what you should hear. What you might understand is, why might they be there? Okay. And can you see how understanding your fears, reframing these objections, and understanding this, reframing this can take you to a higher level of recruiting, because you're not going to be lost in your own root pulling and the spiral of, oh no, like, you know what? This just proves that I'm not worth it. Them not getting on Protandim proves only one thing, that they're not going to be taking Protandim tomorrow morning. That's the only thing. It does not prove that you don't have any friends, or you don't have any good ideas, or that you're not worth it, or that you're going to fail, right? None of those. Okay. So this is what it might mean for them, that it really is simply not the right timing. Or they may be saying, I don't have the financial resources, and they're not ready to think creatively yet, right? Or I don't have a bleeding neck today. Go try to put a Band-Aid on somebody and help somebody heal who doesn't have a bleeding neck. That's called coercion, right? If they don't have a bleeding neck, then guess what? It's just not a right fit for them right now, right? My need is not that apparent, or I just can't justify the decision. Okay. So here is a beautiful script, and we're going to practice this. We're all going to go off mute. We're going to have an opportunity to share this. This will be kind of one of the things we do to wrap up, because we're going to keep it a little shorter than we do normally. But I want you to, and the reason we're going to practice this is until you practice this, like, you need to get so good that you can say this in, like, when you're going through these, right? Because you're still going to be working through your fears, right? And so you just want to just put this. And by the way, I'm going to put something like this in the, it's okay, Dottie, you're good. In our new, the next version of our CEO script doc. But hey, I get it. If it's just not the right time, I get it. If it's just not the right time for you, is it okay with you if we stay connected on this? I'm going to add, connected on this, right? I want to be specific, right? I get it. If it's just not the right time for you, no problem. Is it okay if we stay connected on this? All right, let's go through it. How about, do you all see the screen the way I see the screen? I'm curious. I see the screen as, like, I've got all the people on my screen. I see Richard and me and Caralee are the top row. Is that what you all see? Or do you, it's all different? Okay. So here's what if you don't mind, then I'll let you raise your hand and then I'll call out so that we don't talk over each other. But rather than just assigning you who's going to go first, I'll let you decide. We're just going to work on this script. Okay. So you're going to ask me a question like, hey, Seth, is this something you're looking for right now? And I'm going to say, no. And then you're going to say, I get it. If it's not the right time for you, that's that's okay. Is it all right with you if we stay connected? I'm just going to give you the opportunity to say that. Okay. So who's first? Raise your hand. Okay. Go ahead, Tammy.
Hi, Seth. Hey, I have a great opportunity for you to take some Protandem. It's an amazing product. Does that sound like something that you can engage in right now?
Tammy, I don't think it is.
Okay. So I totally get it. That's great. But is this something we can stay connected on?
Okay, awesome. Do you have the script book in front of you?
Nope.
Oh, you don't. Here's what, will somebody do me a favor? Somebody drop that in there. Can somebody type that in there? Here's what I want to invite you each to do. Read it verbatim right now. We're going to, step one in like learning these things is we're going to take baby steps. And so you don't have to, at this point, what we're going to practice right now is just saying the words and not worrying too much about, we can even be a little robotic. Okay. I'm not too concerned about that. Not worrying about being too warm, right? I mean, sometimes we're like, oh, I gotta really feel warm and show. Right now, I just want you to get in the mind. It's like walking, right? I'm not working about walking gracefully yet. I'm just trying not to fall on my face, right? Anybody got that in there? Do we have that in the chat box? Anybody? Okay.
Is it in the workbook?
Lawrence has got the first part. I get it. If it's not the right time for you. And then, is it okay with you if we stay connected? And here's why I want to practice these specific words. You can change it later. Oh yeah, and it's connected on this. All right, question mark. This is my recommendation. Okay, again, later you can, okay, there you go. Richard's got it all in there. Okay, I get it. If it's not the right time for you, is it okay if we stay connected on this? Okay, so I want you to test this out. Tammy, I'm going to give it back to you.
Okay.
Because sometimes we'll put in other words that'll change the meaning. So go ahead, Tammy. You just asked me. And I said, actually, Tammy, thanks for asking, but I'm a no.
Okay. I already forgot. Okay. I totally get it. Is this something that we can stay connected on though? Connected.
Hey.
I can't remember. Okay.
It's okay. Hey, do you have your chat? Do you have the chat open, Tammy?
How do I do that?
Okay.
All I see is these little dots at the bottom.
Okay, click the dots. And it should hopefully one give you a chat box. Yeah. So open the chat. And if you look
I
at
don't see the word chat anywhere.
Let's see. Are you
It's
on
more, maybe under more.
Click on more.
Oh, chat.
Chat. There you go.
There. Okay, I get it. If it's not the right time for you, is it okay with you if we stay connected on this?
Boom. Okay. I love that. Anybody else notice the differences? Just with Tammy, just so you know, your voice inflection changed. You had more confidence. Of course, you were trying to come up with the words before, right? We're trying to handle the objection, and all we want to do is reframe the objection. Yeah, it was very much more positive. Another thing, Tammy, was in those previous iterations, you said something like, but is it okay? Okay. And the difference there is a little, it's like, well, wait, but, right? Or the other thing is, and again, this is why we're practicing, thanks for being the first, is that at the first two times you're like, Right. It was like the confidence, and part of that is the fear. It's like, if somebody asks me a question right now, Seth, blah, 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 and I'm like, it's probably because I'm afraid, because I don't want to look, you know what? I'm the pro 10. I'm supposed to have all the answers, right? You know, and I'm
Yep.
going to look dumb. I still do. By the way, again, I'm getting over my stuff just like all of us. And the other thing is, one of the others you said, is it okay if we stay connected on this though? Right. And that's like, there's a little bit of a negative.
I like that too. Oh,
When I say, oh, so you don't want to buy this, but do you want to, what if we do this though? Right? It's almost like I'm clawing for something. So,
oh, yes, true.
yes. So
Yes.
anyway, awesome. Tammy, let's do it again. By the way, Tammy, ask me again. Say,
Okay.
Seth, are you ready to buy Protandim? So are you ready to get started on the product? Let's just say I've done steps.
Seth, so are you ready to get started on the product?
You know, I don't know if I am.
I'm trying to, I lost the chat. Dang it.
Go back to more. Go back to more.
Chat.
You
Now I
know,
lost
Tammy,
the- I get it. If it's not the right time for you, is it okay with you if we stay connected on this?
yeah, that's fine. By the way,
Great.
being on the receiving end of that, totally fine. I think I will change some of the, when we do this in our script doc, I think it's a little disjointed. I think I'm going to change it too. I get it. Maybe it's just not the right time for you. I think I personally kind of like them. Maybe it's, you know, hey, I get it. You know, maybe it's just not the right time for you. Whatever. We'll think about this, but is it okay? Beautifully done, Tammy. And I don't know if you noticed, it seemed easier the second time. Right?
Thanks.
Yeah. Utilize this. Hey, no worries. I totally get it. It may just not be the right time for you, right?
Because
Hey,
we're building confidence in them right there. We're trying to lessen the space and trying to say, hey, you know what? I'm confident that everything's great. Let's just stay connected, right?
yeah, on this, and
Yeah.
it's a timing issue. There's no judgment, right? No judgment. All right, Lillian, you're up. You have your hand up.
Okay, hold on, because I gotta mute and then go to the chat. Hey Seth, are you ready to get started?
Dramatic
You're muted.
pause. Dramatic pause.
You're muted.
Lillian, I think I'm a no.
I get it. If it's not the right time for you, is it okay if we just stay connected on this?
Yeah, that's just fine.
Okay, perfect.
I'm telling you, I've used part of this. I've used the can we stay connected, and it works. It's really, it gives people space. So absolutely love it. Here's what I'm going to do. Will somebody else take charge here? Stephanie and I actually have an appointment that I got to jet to. I want to give everybody a chance to do this. Lillian, can you take charge? Can you be the no person?
Yes, and on this is, I think, is vital.
On
Saying
this,
on
yes.
this.
Yes.
It's huge. Okay, yeah, go have fun.
Okay, so I'm going to do that. Magdalene will turn off the recording, and so appreciate y'all.
So can I go soon because I have somebody coming over, a potential?
Yeah, go, Caralee, go.
Okay, great. Okay, so hey, Lillian, are you ready to get started on the product?
I've thought about it. I don't think so, Caralee. Thank you so much for thinking of me.
Oh, I get it. If it's not the right time for you, is it okay with you if we stay connected on this?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. Good, we'll be in touch.
Okay, so I don't see all the hands, so I'm just gonna, oh, nobody else has a hand. Oh, I only see my hand. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in order, and if you're just not ready to go, just say I can't do it now and we'll skip. So just so you know, my next person that I see online is Beverly, then Tamara, and then, oh, Dottie said she was in the car, and then Faye. Okay, so let's go in that order, kind of like if we were doing a meetup.
Thank you. So hi Lillian, are you ready to get started?
Oh, Bev, no, not really. I took a look, but it's not for me.
Oh, I get it. If it's not the right time for you, is it okay with you if we stay connected on this?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Have a great day.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was really good.
Thank you, Lillian.
So I think Tamara was next.
Okay, and this is Tammy. So I already went with Seth. I'm happy to
Oh,
practice
I'm
again.
sorry. Okay.
That's
You want to do
okay.
it again?
I'm just sure. So Lillian, are you excited to start the product right now?
No, not really, Tammy. Thank you.
Okay, I get it. If it's not the right time for you, is it okay if we stay connected on this?
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Faye, you ready?
So Lillian, are you ready to get started on the product?
Oh, no, Faye. No, thank you.
I get it. Maybe it's not the right time for you, but is it okay if is it okay if we stay connected on this?
Okay, let's do over. Let's do over.
Yes. Hey, Lillian, are you ready to get started on the product?
Oh, Faye, thanks for thinking about me, but no, I don't think so.
I get it. Maybe it's not the right time for you. Is it okay if we stay connected on this?
Yeah, sure.
Great.
Awesome. That was very good. I'm glad you caught yourself on the butt because I didn't catch it the first time. Okay, let me see who else is there. So we have Florence, then Richard, and then Vivian.
Hi, Lillian. Are you ready to place that order?
No, Florence, not really. Thanks for thinking of me.
I get it. It's just not the right time. Is it okay if we just stay connected?
Remember, on this.
Ah, okay. Should
Yeah,
we do
we
it again?
decided that that's important. Yeah, let's do it again.
Oh, hi, Lillian. Are you ready to place the order?
No, Florence, not really. Thank you.
I get it. It's just not the right time. Is it okay with you if we stay connected on this?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay. Have a
That
great
was
day.
great. You too. Thank you.
Richard,
Hey, Leanna, are you ready to place an order now? Did you hear
That
me?
sounded a little wimpy, mister.
Oh,
Try it
okay.
again.
Yeah, I'm already having trouble. No, I'm doing awesome with this. Okay, Leanna, are you ready to place an order now?
Okay, I think you need to, is it just me or does Richard sound a little wimpy, like a little tentative, like,
Okay.
you ready? Yeah,
All right.
come on, go.
Okay.
I can, I
Okay,
will, I am, yes.
Liliana, are you ready to place an order now?
That was much better.
Much better.
No, Richard. Okay, let's do it again. Do it again. Go.
Okay, Liliana, are you ready to place an order now?
No, Richard, I'm really not ready now.
Okay, I get it. It's just not the right time for you. Is it okay if we stay connected on this?
Yes, that was great.
Thank you.
That was really good. Okay.
I'm the only one that screwed up on the first part. I love it.
Yeah, I think you sounded a little like, so yeah,
Okay,
much better.
thanks.
Okay, great. This is great.